Hello and welcome to the Self Upgrade podcast. My name is Aïdah, and if this is your first time in this platform, in this listening to this podcast or watching it on YouTube, welcome. It's great to have you here. So today I'm going to talk about an interesting topic, something that actually I came to realize throughout my journey, of self-publication. Because if you've been following me for a little while, if you've been in this community, for a little while, you probably heard me talking about my book. So, I learned a lot of things working on that book. So I want to share one of the things that really touched me and with which I think that, most, like all of us, we need to be aware of this, to make sure that we live basically our best life, and also we live our passions, our dreams, instead of waiting until the time is right, waiting until everything is aligned, waiting until everything is perfect. So, because most probably that won't happen. So today we are going to talk about the fact that basically, if we believe in our dream, we shouldn't basically just sit and wait, but we have to stand, and then the universe will lead the way. And actually, I'm paraphrasing my spirit guide. I will mention that a bit later. So I'm paraphrasing my spirit guide because, as many people before starting anything, we ask ourselves a lot of questions, and rightfully so. We need to basically understand where we are putting our feet, where we are going, as much information as possible. But sometimes we just, tend to be stuck in the questioning and in the, trying to figure out everything, to make sure that we know exactly what we are going to encounter on our way to whatever we are doing. So this is why I'm coming to you, because I was there. I was that person feeling like, okay, I have this book, because I started writing my poems like a long time ago, and I didn't really think about them as being part of a book. I was writing my poems more like a journal, because it was making me feel good. Anyway, I will put the episode here in which I was sharing basically how I started writing and why I decided basically to publish my poems in a book. So I will put the video here so that you can go and learn about and hear my journey, because, imposter syndrome was a big deal. It was really a big deal, and it almost basically paralyzed me into not following my dream. So today I'm coming to share the tools and also how I managed to unstuck myself from the paralyzing questions: where, who, why, when. So yeah, so basically, to start with, I want to talk about the fact that, we don't need to know everything. We don't need to have answers to all our questions, for us to get started. Like I said, if you believe in your dream and you believe in its potential, like to help other people or to, to better your life, your own life to start with, so you have the responsibility to stand for that dream. And because, you can always say, oh, I believe in my dream. I believe in my dream. But until you take action, it will just be a dream. It will just be a dream. Because for me, I didn't start thinking about, my book and be like, okay, let me go for it. Let me do it. But first, okay, is it, what does it entail? What do I need to do? Lots of questions. And it's normal to have those questions. It is normal to ask yourself questions on how you're going to achieve it, who can help you. But the only problem is when those questions, basically stop you from moving forward. You get stuck with all the questions, or because you don't get the answers that you wanted for some of the questions, you get stuck basically in the questioning and you never get to get started. So that's where it becomes dangerous. you have to basically, gather some information regarding your dream and how to bring it, how to manifest it. Once you have enough information, get started. It makes me think about that quote by Paulo Coelho. So he said, when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. All the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. I believe that it is true. It is true. Once you believe in your dream and you actually stand for your dream, you're like, okay, I'm going to make it happen. I have no idea how, but one thing is for sure, I will make this happen. When you start having, that mindset, then you become unstoppable. You will make it happen because the universe will see that energy that you are putting in, and it will be by your side, putting the right people, on your way, putting the right tools, the right information. That's exactly what happened for me. When I was like, okay, I need to publish these poems, I need to publish a book to share these poems with people, because I feel like many people will benefit from reading these poems. So from here, what shall I do? First thing, because I remember being in that stage where I was asking myself questions like, am I going to self-publish? Am I going to approach a publisher? If yes, which publisher? How am I going to do this? Where? Who is going to help me? So many questions. That's when my guide was like, you know what? Just stand up and the universe will lead the way. So, it's very important because, we are never alone. We have a spiritual team. We have, a force with us that helps us, that guides us, towards the right information, the right people. So we just need to believe in the universe. One thing is for sure, we are not alone. We have a team behind us, pushing us, helping us basically to achieve whatever it is that we put our energy and mind into. So yeah, so that's exactly what happened for me. I had all those questions, and then, when the time is right, the divine timing basically, each time that I needed something, or even before I needed that thing, so the universe will put someone, next to me, someone who was able basically to provide me with the information that I needed, someone who was able to, to direct me toward another person who had basically the resources that I needed, for whatever question I had. And that's how, it's amazing. When you realize that that's what life is about, the only thing that you need to do is to take action, to stand up and start taking action. And once you start doing that, the doors start opening in almost, in a magical way almost. When you start thinking about something like, oh, for me, for instance, my book cover, because we're talking about the book cover, there's a lady that I was working with because, I'm a marketing consultant. Like, that's how that's basically my job. I'm a marketing consultant. So I was working with a freelancer, a designer, and she was really good, and she is good. And we had that synergy, basically. We worked really well. So when I started to talk about the book cover, her name didn't come straight to my head, basically. But I was like, okay, I need to research. I started to research, how, like, who can help with, the book cover and stuff like that. And then I came across that person, and the person was talking about, producing the book cover using InDesigner. When they said InDesigner, straight away the name of the lady, Melissa. I was like, oh, if they use InDesigner, Melissa is like, she's an expert in all the Adobe tool, basically all the Adobe tools. She masters them. She knows how to use them, and she uses them really well. So I was like, okay, let me just contact her and see if this is something that she. And I remember when I was working her, she mentioned basically working on a book for a person, for like one of her clients was working on a book. But obviously at the time I didn't need anything, and I didn't even have the idea. I didn't think that I was going to publish a book anytime soon. So, she mentioned that, and that was it. But just that word from, researching, because I took the action of researching, I got that person, that guy who was talking about the InDesigner tool, like the Adobe InDesigner tool. And that's basically one thing leading to another, made me think about Melissa. And Melissa is the one who worked on my book cover. And oh boy, I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased with the result. And so, once again, it shows that once you take the action, because if you just sit on your sofa and you're like, oh, I need a book cover, I really need a book cover, you think that, it's going to just fall from the sky. No, you have to take action. So, it's all starts with believing in your dream, believing in whatever project you're working on, and then it pushes you to take the right actions. So, it's very important that we understand that, because I hear lots of people basically, oh, one day I will do this, one day I'll do that. And sometimes, I mean, depending on how close I am, to them, sometimes I ask, the people like, what is stopping you from starting now? And every time when I ask someone that question, you will see a pause, like they were thinking about the answer. And to be honest, they understand, even if they don't say it like that, but they understand that actually they could be starting today or even yesterday, but they're just postponing because, it can be like, maybe they're afraid or whatever. But, it's all about confronting whatever blockage we're having, and then move forward by taking actions toward our dream. Once again, we all have dreams. We all have dreams. Every single person that you will be speaking to, when you will be talking about your dreams, they will start to tell you about their own dreams. But most of the time, those people won't be actively working on their dreams. They know that they have that dream, but it's just that one day, and that's a trap. If you have a dream and you know that it will benefit you and potentially benefit other people, then you basically need to take the step, have a plan and a strategy behind, and every single day. Because last time I was talking to, we had a chat with my husband, and we were talking about how sometimes basically you feel like you're not moving as fast as you'd like to. He's working on a community project, and for him, it's taking him too long, basically, for him to see the result that he would like to see. And I was telling him, sometimes most of the time, basically, when we work on something, we have lots of lessons to learn, lots of lessons to learn. But the most important thing is to be consistent. Is to be consistent. Because, if for instance you take an empty glass, and every single day you just put a drop of water in that glass. Every single day you put a glass of water. After a week, you will start to see, something happening, like, the glass will start to get more and more, to have more and more water. And every day you continue to do that for a month, the glass, depending on the size of the glass, will either be full or will have like a good amount of water. So that's consistency. Just for you to understand the importance of consistency. Every day, if you put a drop of water into a pot, a glass, after a while, you will have like, a considerable amount of water. But most of us, we will put a drop today, another drop tomorrow, and be like, oh, the glass is still not full. The glass is still not full. I don't even see the progress. Like, I can't even see a paddle. You see, that's the trap. Because, can you imagine from January 1st to December 31st, you have a recipient, like let's just say a pot, and you pour in a drop every single day, for the whole year. You see, consistency. Basically, you may not see the result in a week time. You may not see the result in a month time, but at the end of the year, you will see the result for sure. You know, the accumulation of all the actions that you will take towards your dream at the end of the year, no matter how small they were, no matter how small the actions were. But if you are consistent, at the end of the year, you are going to have a result, a good result for you. And you, when you will be looking back at, you know, the first day, the 1st of January, when you put that very first drop, you'll be like, oh, wow, I'm glad I didn't stop, you know, pouring. I didn't stop putting in energy into this. You know, consistency, no matter how small, no matter how small. For me, you know, I'm a mom. I'm a mom of 4. I have a lovely family. I'm not going to say a big family because I enjoy, you know, all the love, because people like to see just the challenge. Oh, 4 kids, and they see challenge, people running, you know, kids running around and all that. But for me, I see love, because we bring those kids, you know, to life through love and with love. And then once they are in your life, obviously there are challenges. You know, raising kids, you have to be strong, you have to be stable, you have to really be, you know, grounded, not all of the time, because we are only human. We are not perfect, but we are learning through that journey. It's, you are not just teaching, but you're also learning. And that's the beauty of it. But that's another story for another day. But just to say that, you know, I'm a mom, and I have to find that time for me, first of all, to write, to work, and all of that. But once again, I have to find that time. I have to give myself the time, because it's very easy to find the excuse. Oh, I don't have time. I have to take care of the kids. I have to take care of my household, my career, and all that. I don't have time to write the book. You know, that will be very easy to say, and people will actually believe you, and they will be like, oh yeah, yeah, we understand, 4 kids, where will you have that time? And I remember my my sister-in-law, when I was announcing her, I called her last time. I was like, you know what, I've been working on my book and now it's ready. I'm going to publish it next month in September. And she was like, oh my dear, where do you find that time? Where do you find that time? And we don't have time. We give ourselves the time, you know, because we all have this the same amount of time during the day, like 24 hours. We all have 24 hours. Now, how do you use those 24 hours? That's the question. So me, I just had to be very efficient with my time, you know, knowing that I have kids who need me, and whom I need, obviously, you know. And yeah, I have lots of things to do, but I also have that dream, because once again, if you watch the episode in which I was talking about the imposter syndrome that I had when I was working on publishing the book, because the book, like I was saying, is going to be launched. I'm going to launch it next month, September, but obviously I'll keep you updated. And imposter syndrome, like, who are you? Why do you think that people want to hear what you have to say? And it's blocked me for a little while until I went inside, you know, and I was like, okay, I feel like, you know, I genuinely feel like that some people will strongly benefit from, you know, my experience, the experience that I learned through, you know, my various journeys. And once again, if you want to understand, I don't want to talk about my journey over again, but I will put the video so that you can go and listen. What is the motivation basically behind that book? And, you know, because of that motivation, because of the fact that I know that there are lots of people who are going to benefit from the book, that gave me the motivation. I was like, yeah, I don't have to be, you know, this big or whatever, you know, I don't have to be a certain way for me to feel like, okay, I'm entitled to, you know, to doing this. I can write a book because I'm like this. You know, I'm just me. I'm just me. But, you know, there are lots of people out there who once again will benefit from the lessons that I learned from my experience. So that's my motivation. That's my motivation. And because of that, every single day I was putting in the work. Every single day. Sometimes I'll be so frustrated because I'll get just 30 minutes per day, like to be able to like 30 minutes to work on the book, and then I will have to move to do something else. Or most of the time I'll wake up very, very early to ensure that I have time to work on my book. So it wasn't easy, it wasn't easy. But today, when I'm seeing the results, like the book has taken shape, we have the book cover now. We are working on we are preparing for the promotion of the book. The book, I'm about to get it printed. So, so many exciting things, so many exciting things. So I'm like, okay, those 30 minutes that I was putting in, they were not nothing. That wasn't nothing, because this is the result. 30 minutes today, 30 minutes tomorrow, 30 minutes for during a whole week, you start to see something. And like I said, now when I look back and when I see the result of all the energy that I was putting into the book, I'm happy that actually I did take the time to do, those 30 minutes. I didn't see them as being nothing, because I could have said, oh, today I only have 30 minutes to work on the book, so I won't work on the book. I'll do something else. If I had had that mindset, so maybe the book won't be ready today. But because I was willing basically to work, no matter how small the time that I had, basically, no matter how, the amount of time that I had to work on the book, I was always putting the work daily, because I knew I had the motivation behind, and I believe in my dream once again, because it's all about, believing in your dream, standing up, taking the action, and the universe will lead the way, showing you the right people, putting the right people in front of you who will help you to get the resources, who will help you to get better understanding, who will help you, whenever you need it. Because for me, it was like that. Doors were opening like this. I need a book cover, the right person, Melissa, and then I need to format the book, Melissa, because she, once again, she works on formatting, designing the whole book. So she was there. I need to promote the book straight away. Lots of people were happy to, to help in the process. So, it's, I'm feeling blessed right now, but to be honest with you, it's been, lots of energy has gone into that. So when you say I'm blessed, it's good basically to feel that way, because once again, there's an energy behind us, some spiritual, in the spiritual realm, who help us basically to achieve what we achieve here on earth. And I definitely know that, as far as I'm concerned, I didn't do this on my own. I didn't do this alone. Yes, I was taking the actions. I had that free will, basically, to either take the action or to not take the action, to bring this book, to manifest the book. But I know that I felt the presence basically supporting me in the process. So will you. As soon as you start taking action, you will see that, things will start to just unfold in front of you. So I really encourage you to take action, because that's the secret. Nothing happens without taking action. If you don't take action, it will be the status quo. Things won't change. Things will always be the same, because you are not taking any action to make them different. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. And once again, my book, I'm working on, publishing the book, and obviously I will keep you updated. So stay tuned, and please like, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next episode of the Self Upgrade podcast. Bye.